Hello friends, welcome to another video. Today's review is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lanny Taylor. Get the glare out of there. I like it as a girl. My fingers are covering her lower face there in a blue feather mask. Her eye looks a little weird to me. That's how I feel about it. I got this one from my public library, from the Kindale Library here in Stephenville, in the young adult section. It is book 1 of a trilogy. I do not have book 2 or 3 yet, but I want to read them. The blurb is a little different. It didn't really... It's kind of confusing. It doesn't really describe the book per se like some other blurbs do. You'll understand. She had been innocent once, a little girl playing with feathers on the floor of a devil's lair. She wasn't innocent now. Around the world, black handprints are appearing on doorways, scorched there by winged strangers who have crept through a slit in the sky. In a dark and dusty shop, a devil's supply of human teeth grows dangerously low. And in the tangled lanes of Prague, a young artist is about to be caught up in a brutal, otherworldly war. So, I feel like that doesn't do a good description like some of other synopses have. Oops, just throwing the book around there. Anyway, so the main characters are Carew. Her ex-boyfriend Kaz has appearances. Her best friend Zuzanna, and then the devil that was looking after her that they said on the back, Brimstone, and Issa and Twigga are his assistants, and they raised Carew. She knows these guys as family. They are sort of they call themselves Chimera, because they're like human and animal blended together in different ways. Some look more human with only a few animal features, and some are more animal with only like the body of a human kind of thing. And then what do they call them? Winged strangers are the Seraphim, and the main Seraphim is Akiva, and his siblings by choice, siblings by being raised together, but not by blood, Liraz and Hazael, and Akiva's ex, Madrigal. Anyway, they are seraphim. They look like angels. They have wings. They can fly. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, the book is in third person, mostly from Carew's point of view, sometimes and little bits from Akiva or Madrigal and Brimstone's point of view. I think there's some of Brimstone's point. No, not from Brimstone's point of view. Although there might be in the other books, I don't know. Do you want down, Rye? I don't think he does. I thought he wanted down. The book takes place all over the place in where Carew has an apartment and her best friend Zuzanna lives is in Prague, but she goes to Paris, she goes to Marrakesh, she goes to the States, she goes all over the world, and that's one of the things that she does for Brimstone. And he has magic doors, the ones that they mentioned that the Seraphim have marked with the burning hands. So the war is between the Seraphim and the Chimera, and Akiva sort of gets... No, not Akiva. Akiva is the Seraphim. He's part of the war, but he's just a soldier. And Carew gets sucked into it. The writing and the descriptions in this book are absolutely fantastic. Like, I could picture sitting in a cafe in Prague. Like, it's so immersive. I could picture myself being there it was it's beautiful the way she describes the cities. And I mean, the old European cities really are beautiful. I could picture myself in a marketplace in Marrakesh, like with the smells, everything. She just describes everything so amazingly. It's great. The great descriptions, great characters. They feel they feel like individuals, and they feel unique, and they feel relatable. The chemistry between Karu and Akiva is tangible. Like, you can feel the electricity that they feel. I feel like that's not a spoiler because it's something when they first meet that just like sort of happens. Like, they have this drawnness to them. I don't know how to describe that, where we're drawn to each other. It's weird. They don't really fully describe it in the book about why either. Like, I want to say, what's the word for it? I want to say soulmates, but no, that's not the right word for it. Like, there's a word that they use in fantasy, in romance, fantasy romance. Fated mates, I think is the word I'm looking for. But they don't really get too much detail into that. There is talk about stuff, but no real details. Some makeout scenes. It's mostly fade to black. I could say 14 and up for this, for sure. A 12-year-old if they were more mature, but not incredibly for age-wise. Now, I don't know what the other books get into, but the first one, there's no real detail or anything like that on the romance side of things. I'm trying to think of what other books it reminds me of. It's not really dystopian at all because the war is actually in another world, and Karu and Akiva have to go there by the end of the book to figure things out. The ending doesn't completely leave you hanging, but you know there's more to the story. It wraps up the first book mostly. I'm trying to think if there was any sort of cliffhangers. No, not real cliffhangers. I don't really remember any. I'm saying this because normally I do the book review like right away. I finished this book last night, right before I went to bed, and it is the next evening that I'm doing this review, and I'm already halfway through another book. But the other book, it has a similar vibe to it. I'm trying to think. Any book where there's conflict. There's actually, every book has conflict. That's the point of books. Sometimes looking at my bookshelf, I can think of other books that it reminds me of where there's a war. An otherworldly war. See, right off the top of my head, I can't think if it's actually similar to the books I just started, which is Angel Fall by Susan E. And it's very similar to that, to a point where it's about seraphim and angels and a battle, and angels not being as heavenly and good as our mythology has made them out to be, or that most people want to believe in angels that way. So, yeah. The actual rating, I would rate it 3 out of 5 stars to start. I want to read the rest of the series, and that might change my overall rating of the whole series. Good book, great writing, very likable characters, great plot, Wonderful descriptions. Absolutely wonderful descriptions. Not 100% a page turner, but I did really enjoy it, and the pace was like there's good pace through the whole book. I probably won't reread them, but I do recommend them. Do recommend Daughter of Smoke and Bone. If I'm recommending the first book, you're committed to the whole series. When I read the other ones, I will post the links to book 2 and 3 in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed that review. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.